All right, so I want to welcome you tonight. It's spring here, everywhere for anybody who's going to end up listening to this. It's spring, and it's been a warmer day here in Ohio, and we've had some sun, which we all need in Ohio, and as well as perhaps other places. This time of year can be really cloudy, and I think this time of year we might, at least I feel, the effects of the heavy barometer pressure more than any other time of the year. So it's like when the sun comes out now, it's just like, oh, thank God. Thank God we needed the sun. So sun was out today, and that was really lovely. So all right, so let's begin by, as we always do actually, by taking a couple of deep breaths. Although I'm going to be inviting us to let's spend some more time at the outset here, just getting a sense of where we are, going into our inner space. And let's also, as we go into this inner space, as we begin to, let's say, walk or float down the stairs into this more of our own inner sanctuary, that we pause for a moment to recognize the life force around us and within us, the sacred beings, divine beings, the guides, the masters, like the ascended masters, archangels, higher dimensional beings of pure love and light and healing. My way of framing the intentions of higher dimensional beings that we are inviting here to be with us, knowing that the energies and the beings that are a part of this group with us always are absolutely of pure heart and light and healing energy. Offering our gratitude, feeling gratitude for all the blessings in our life. Blessings that are showered down and around and throughout and within us constantly, no matter what the state of our consciousness. These blessings are everywhere around us. Everywhere, everyone, everywhere, through all time. Opening ourselves up for, again, we are the ones that close ourselves off from spirit. It's part of having a body. It takes intention. It takes consciousness to open ourselves back up to spirit. Thanking them for all their gifts. Acknowledging their presence, of course, and calling on them for what it is you want them to do for you tonight, right? You remember people saying that angels need jobs, that there are angels for every job possible. You just have to say what it is, the job is that you want. And so think of what are the intentions, what are the perhaps desires and the hopes that you have for this session. Say just for this session, right? For right now. How can they support you through this session? And then call on them or give them the jobs of what it is you want to bring into your life. What do you want to manifest? What is something that you're working on, some goal, some intention? And call on them to help you manifest that intention, that goal in its right time, which may in fact be now. As you're breathing, remembering to breathe out density, right? Density is a word we can use for the energetic thickness that we might feel. Energy can feel light and airy, just as it does after we do the Celtic weave, right? Or it can feel very dense and very heavy. And so you might scan yourself now to see where you notice any heaviness, energetic heaviness, thickness. Compactment, if that's a word. Compaction, maybe. And breathe that out. Intend it. Call on assistance to release it. Might tap on your thymus. It's always wonderful to come up and do the high heart tapping with a little bit of pressure from your palms. Notice any emotional energies or physical tension or thoughts that are either negative, heavy, judgments. Being present with yourself and calling on assistance and breathing consciously. See what you can shift even here and now. And notice how you're feeling with yourself now. How much have you walked yourself into the hearth of your own inner sanctuary? How does it feel inside this hearth now? You might pause and look around. What? And just look around, like what does your hearth look like? What is it that makes it so comfortable, so, I don't know, warming and safe and relaxing and peaceful and healing? See, just see and feel inside yourself. Might be surprised what shows up. Or who shows up, and who shows up. Just feel how the quietness and the peace of this place within nourishes and nurtures all of your body and your whole energy field. And know that whether this is the first time or the 100th time or more that you visited this inner sanctuary, maybe or maybe not having taken the time to see what's here, to experience what's here in your inner sanctuary. That the more we return to these spaces, the more the richness of them grows. Richness in terms of love and healing and light and protection, beauty, creativity, access, more direct access to higher dimensional beings, to your own higher self, the voice of your own higher self. This place grows within you, becomes richer and richer, more beauteous, almost sparkling, maybe sparkling with love and light. Maybe feeling that sparkling nature radiate out throughout the whole of your body and your energy field. And feeling the sun-like quality of your heart, and suddenly feeling your heart radiating out more warmth and more light, that golden white light. And feel this now. And let all the goodness of this seep deep into your muscles and your bones and your organs and your cells. And inside your cells, in the mitochondria, and between your cells, in the intercellular fluid, the waters of your life inside. Feel it settling in, becoming foundational. Becoming core and ever present. And remembering to be grateful also to yourself for having brought yourself to this night, to this experience, and opened yourself up to spirit. Done both of those courageous things. We are going to shift from the foundation that we are continuing to strengthen to focusing on something that you really want to clear tonight. And of course, oftentimes you come in here knowing what you want, already being pretty clear about what it is you want to focus on. And then sometimes something is said that, or something happens, or you hear something inside that suggests that perhaps there's something else that your being wants you to focus on tonight. And kind of like waiting to check in with my new puppy to find out what she wants her name to be, to hear how she feels about my thoughts. Doing the same thing with your own inner self. What does your own inner self want? That part of you that's guiding your unfolding, both within and beyond your own conscious awareness of it. What is the next step in your own unfolding? What is it that can be unraveled, can be released, can be freed, that will free you now into more wholeness, more resonance, more coherence within the energies of the universe, within yourself and within the energies of the universe. And so now begin to kind of hone in, almost as like a camera lens, perhaps, where you're adjusting the view so it's becoming clearer and clearer. Like, oh, this pain, oh, oof, this part of this pattern, this tendency. Let me see. Where does it come from? When did it start? What does my subconscious offer up to me as a place for beginning tonight's work? Is there a place of pain still stored inside that you're now accessing? Is there perhaps a place of pain one step lower than the step you've taken so far, mixing metaphors here, into the core of the issue, the imbalance, emotional, energetic imbalance, constriction. On the other side, lack of boundaries. Trusting yourself, remembering that you're safe, and how good it is to release the pain that we still hold inside. So let's start using a slightly different tapping process, generally known as touch and breathe, where what we do is hold the points and take a deep breath. There's no words, or I'm not going to use words, but I really invite you then to feel the physical sensation, to feel the emotions, all the knotted, twisted interweaving of them. Perhaps the images of a particular moment, the sounds of a particular moment, the feel of a particular moment. Perhaps it is the feel of your nervous system just as you begin to have a triggered reaction to something before your habitual ways of defending yourself against it, which could be going into more anxiety or could be going into shutdown. But that moment where the nervous system, it's kind of like this uh-oh moment in the nervous system that you you can feel throughout the whole of your body. And the more we can connect with that moment and bring out, release the tension, the fear, the charge in that moment, the more we really are resetting the way the nervous system functions. And so, feeling into what's most present for you with whatever it is you have chosen to work on or has chosen you to work on now. Put your fingers, your eyebrows by the bridge of your nose. Feel, see, smell, hear the moment. And take a nice deep breath. And breathe out. Moving to the side of your eyes. Same thing. Deep breath, hold it, and then breathe it out through your mouth. Way out. Underneath again. Above your lips again. And below. collarbones. And here you might want to pulse to get a little more sensation. On the sides of your ribs. Good. Now let's hold your thumb. One thumb, doesn't matter which one. Nice deep breath. Go back to sensation, feeling, image, smell, sound, and release. Go back to that sensation in your nervous system at the first uh-oh sensation. Deep breath in, let it go. Middle finger, same thing. Little finger. Go to the top of your head again. Your eyebrows, sorry. Feeling what's still there now and breathing it out. On the sides of your eyes. Underneath your eyes. Above your lips. Below. Collarbones. Sides. And then back to the fingers. So sorry, wasn't showing them. I'm just wrapping my fingers from one hand around the other. In this case, my thumb. Index finger. Middle finger. Activating my parasympathetic over here. Ring finger. And little finger. Up to the high heart. And tap back and forth. Seeing what you're noticing now. Whatever it is you started with, What are you noticing now? Of course, you might feel a combination of release and perhaps more energy inside, perhaps more feeling of resilience and strength inside. I'll share with you just for a moment, for probably transparency's sake, but also because doing the tapping this way is um, much less distracting cognitively, right? And so, whereas I almost never am consciously working on any of my own issues when I'm leading tapping of any sort, what came up for me this time was that moment when I talked about that moment between when there's some sort of sensation, some sort of uh-oh sensation, and right before your own defensive patterns kick in. And what came up for me was the feeling of when I was about to get yelled at for doing something wrong, right? And that kind of rise, it's like a rise in the nervous system that comes up. And so that's that sensation that I was focusing on. And at one point I was like, well, I don't know that I can tell so much. Then I realized when we were done that I felt stronger inside, which would make sense, wouldn't it? That would be one of the words that would come up, that my core would feel stronger. So I say that to help you have some more awareness of your own experience as we do this together. And as we move in to release the moment, the charge of the moment, the belief, the energy, the pattern, all of it, right? They're all layered. You know, it's almost like, you know, how in our, I never thought about this before. Maybe it's not true, but it kind of, I don't know. But what just came for me was this, the knowing that our energy field has layers in it, right? It has 7 layers, and those 7 energetic layers are related to the 7 chakras inside. And that we can think of these things like the moment, right, as a layer, all the compilation of moments where a particular thing happens, a matrix, a pattern gets set in the whole body, that all those moments. And then another layer would be all the emotions that are associated with that complex. That's Jung's comment, or his word for it is a complex, right? So all the emotions. And then another layer would be all the thoughts, you know, which of course include all the beliefs that stem from, have stemmed from, did stem from those experiences of the past. And another layer, of course, would be sensations, probably lower, different in the order. Sensations might be first if we think about the chakras. Oh, let's try this. We would have sensations. The next layer would be emotions. The next layer would be beliefs, thoughts, right? The next layer might be, well, the next layer would be a heart, moving into the more energetic, more spiritual aspects that, so perhaps the edge of where our personal self meets our larger spiritual self from this place, right? From this configuration. And then we'll move into how that impacts our communication, right? So there's a pattern, there's a reactive pattern, and it affects our communications with others, the way we're connecting with others, right? With ourselves. And then we move up to the resonance with the sixth chakra, and it connects our perceptions, how we perceive ourselves, how we perceive others, how we perceive the world, how we perceive the world of spirit, right? And the highest might be well, it's beyond thought, right? It's beyond perception, beyond thought. So perhaps that widest, that farthest out level is how our whole energy field interacts with the energy field around us, or how much then we're able to access the inflow of spirit, the inflow of consciousness, right? The inflow of love and light from above and from the earth. Hmm. Hmm. Well, I didn't know that would come through. Be interesting to hear at some point. Thoughts about that, how that impacted you? Um, any thoughts you might have? Okay. So that's a pretty expanded state now. So we've gone from working on something particular into the way it impacts us at a very expanded state. So now I'm going to ask you to bring your awareness back in to almost, like draw in the edges of your energy field a little bit closer to you, and then wiggle fingers and toes, take a deeper breath, roll your shoulders and your neck. And now go back to the issue, the moment, that you're working with, the complex that you're working with tonight, and see what you notice now. What comes up for you now? In that journey, was there any conscious influx of information in terms of awareness, right? Imagery, feeling different, maybe even hearing. Some people are more gifted than others in terms of being able to hear in language or translate into language the voicings of our own high selves and the higher dimensional beings with us. So perhaps some of that came through. And see how this complex now feels embedded within this greater, more expanded, energetic, and connected awareness. And see, how does it come to you now to continue for the next few moments doing healing work with the upset, the imbalance, the constrictions that still remain? I invite you to choose whatever methods, tools you want to use, whether it's tapping or journeying, breathing, other energetic modalities. Reiki, right? course, we're bringing in energy all the time, but some of us may think more specifically in terms of Reiki energy. Remembering to call on the assistance of the divine within and around. Bringing light into the dark places. Loosening the tight places. Bringing expansion and diffusion into the constriction. And warmth into the coldness of old trauma. Bringing love into the place of old pain. Feeling energy move. Feeling a relaxation deep in your core, spreading throughout the whole of you. Feeling trust growing. And freedom. Lightness. Clarity. Compassion. And peace. And if there is any disturbance remaining, inviting the sacred beings to be with those parts of you that still feel perhaps some disturbance, loving over them, healing over them, being with these parts of you. And I invite you to reach out and listen to this recording again. With perhaps another complex, or even continuing with what you're working on to clear more of it out so that you are more completely able to open up and expand into the light and the love, not hindered by any pain from the past at all in any way. Mark in your being, in your cells, your mitochondria, the memory of this experience, of the peace and the love, the openness, the relaxation, the clarity that you're feeling within you and around you now. And with that, once again, begin to bring your awareness back into a more embodied sense within you, right? Moving your fingers and toes, rolling your shoulders, your jaw, your hips a little bit, just loosening up, loosening this body up so that the energy that we've freed up is actually freed, more freed in a way. Any old energy still hiding out in those places, those joints, it's now being freed. Let yourself imagine, right? The power of inner journeying. What is it you want this week or this next period of time? What does you want to be able to manifest? What is it you want to be able to inhabit, to live from? How? And feel yourself moving through your life, dancing, perhaps, gracefully moving through your life. Well, that would be nice, but even if it's not graceful, it's okay. Moving through your life in this next week or so, freed of that past, and how that helps you be more fully present in the moment and the trajectory of your healing and your growth and your life this week and this time. And with that, I say I will see you next week. I will look forward to seeing you next week. Thank you for all co-creating this circle by the way you bring your hearts and your spirits, the way you open yourselves to yourself, to the energy of the group, the guides, the spirit beings that you bring with you, the energy that we have woven together here and continue to weave together. And I thank you for all of it. I thank each of you for being you. And with a reminder to let yourself really feel grateful every day. I'm going to say goodbye, not my easiest thing to do. For now, goodbye. Thank you for thanking me. So, with love, I'll see you next week. Be well and have a great week.